The Anunnaki are ancient Mesopotamian gods, believed to govern the heavens, earth, and underworld. Modern theories suggest they were extraterrestrials who created humanity to serve as laborers, though this is not supported by mainstream scholars. The Anunnaki, ancient deities shrouded in mystery and awe, are not just characters of forgotten myths, but are the embodiment of humanity's deepest, most profound questions. Where do we come from? What is our purpose? Who or what were the first gods to walk the earth and mold our existence? For centuries, the Anunnaki have been more than mere gods of the ancient Mesopotamian pantheon. They are enigmatic figures, immortalized in the dusty tablets of Sumer, Akkad, Babylon, and Assyria, their stories whispering through time and challenging our understanding of human origins. They are gods who, according to ancient texts, shaped humanity with their own hands and destinies with their divine will, calling us into existence not just as worshippers but as their laborers, their creations. To the ancient Sumerians, the Anunnaki were powerful beings that transcended mortal understanding, gods whose presence marked the turning point of civilization itself. But the Anunnaki are far from being confined to the dim recesses of ancient history. In the 20th and 21st centuries, these same figures have emerged from the shadows, captured in the imaginations of millions through a whirlwind of new theories and speculative narratives. Alien gods, ancient astronauts, extraterrestrial architects of human civilization, these are the modern titles given to the Anunnaki, whose supposed origins from a far-flung planet called Nibiru have captivated the minds of a global audience. Why do the Anunnaki continue to inspire fascination, mystery, and even fear? What is it about these figures, steeped in myth and legend, that keeps us questioning the very nature of our reality and origins? Could they have truly shaped humanity's course, guiding our earliest steps, influencing our development in ways we've yet to comprehend? Or is their story simply one of divine myth, designed to explain the unexplainable in an era where gods walked among men and the heavens were seen as close as the stars? As we delve into the history and mythos of the Anunnaki, we are not merely uncovering a distant pantheon of gods from an ancient civilization. We are peering into the heart of humanity's deepest desires, to understand where we come from, what forces have shaped us, and whether, just perhaps, our destiny was touched by something far beyond the confines of Earth. The Anunnaki are a bridge to an ancient past, a time when gods and men coexisted in a world that now exists only in the fragments of myths and legends. And perhaps they are also a window into a future, one where we begin to question the very boundaries of our reality. Join us as we explore the Anunnaki, the gods of the heavens, the creators of humanity, and the central figures in a myth that refuses to fade into obscurity. From the dusty tablets of ancient Mesopotamia to the vast speculative reaches of modern science fiction, the story of the Anunnaki beckons, pulling us into a narrative that is as compelling as it is mysterious. What were the true motives of these ancient beings? What legacy did they leave behind? And perhaps most importantly, did the Anunnaki truly come from the stars, shaping our destiny with hands that were both divine and alien? The answers lie ahead, buried deep within the ancient stories of a forgotten age. In the dusty plains of Mesopotamia, where the first whispers of civilization rose from the earth, the Anunnaki were not mere deities to be worshipped. They were the architects of the world itself. These celestial beings, descended from the heavens, held dominion over life and death, chaos and order, creation and destruction. To the ancient Sumerians, the Anunnaki were not distant figures in some far-off realm. They were the ones who touched the very fabric of existence, shaping the lives of every mortal on Earth. The story of the Anunnaki begins with the very creation of the cosmos. They were the children of Anu, the great sky god, whose power stretched across the heavens, and Kai, the earth goddess, whose beauty and nurturing spirit embodied the fertile soil below. Together, They gave birth to these divine beings, the Anunnaki, who, as their name suggests, were those who came from the heavens. These gods did not simply dwell in the ethereal expanse of the sky, they were intrinsically linked to both the celestial and the terrestrial, and their power manifested in every corner of the world. As their stories unfolded in the rich tapestry of Sumerian mythology, the Anunnaki were not just passive observers of creation. They were active participants, shaping the world with their hands, their wills, and their divine laws. But the most awe-inspiring chapter of their mythos, the one that stirs the hearts and minds of all who encounter it, is the tale of their involvement in the birth of humanity. The Sumerian creation myth is one of both wonder and necessity. The Anunnaki had a divine duty to maintain the balance of the cosmos and manage the forces of nature. They were powerful, but even gods grow weary. In the Epic of Atrahasis, an ancient text that survives from the mists of time, the gods found themselves exhausted by the labor that sustained the world. Their task was simple, but overwhelming: to maintain order, to tend to the natural forces that ruled the earth. But as the demands of the world increased, the gods needed help. Enter humanity. In a moment that would forever alter the course of history, the Anunnaki, led by Enki, the god of wisdom, water, and creation, decided that it was time to craft a new being, a creature who would bear the burden of labor, serving the gods in ways that were beyond their own powers. And so, they crafted the first humans from the sacred clay of the earth, mixing it with the blood of a slain god, a divine sacrifice that would give life to these new beings. The blood of a god, the clay of the earth, the breath of life. These were the ingredients for the first human souls. The Sumerians believed that humanity's purpose was not just to live, but to serve. The gods had created humans to carry the weight of the earth, to till the soil, to build cities, to create temples for the gods they worshipped. It was a pact between the divine and the mortal, a bond forged in the fires of creation, one that tied the fate of humans to the will of the Anunnaki. But the story does not end with mere servitude. The Anunnaki's creation of humanity was, in many ways, an act of love and necessity. The gods were not heartless rulers, they were patrons, guiding and protecting those they had created. In the Epic of Gilgamesh, the great hero king of Uruk, who was said to be part divine and part human, embarks on a journey that reveals both the limitations and the grandeur of human existence. The gods watch over him, sometimes with favor, sometimes with wrath, and through his trials, the deep and complex relationship between gods and men is explored. The Anunnaki, as the creators of humanity, were not just gods of divine power, they were gods who understood the fragility and strength of life itself. They were the protectors of cosmic order, the arbiters of fate, and in their eyes, humanity had a purpose: to sustain the world, to worship the gods, and to honor the divine pact that bound the heavens and the earth. But there was also a darker side to the Anunnaki's role in the creation of mankind. As the human race grew, so did their desires and ambitions. The Anunnaki, in their wisdom, knew that humanity could not live in peace without guidance, for the very nature of humanity was one of struggle, conflict, and desire for power. And so, the Anunnaki imparted both blessings and curses upon their creations. They gave kingship and wisdom, but also imposed trials and suffering. The Epic of Atrahasis recounts how the gods, frustrated with the noise and chaos of humanity, sent a great flood to wipe out the early humans, only to allow them to rise again, reminding them that in the eyes of the gods, life and death were inextricably linked. It is here that the emotional complexity of the Anunnaki's relationship with humanity reveals itself. Love, creation, destruction, and rebirth. The Anunnaki were not just gods who simply molded life out of clay. They were divine beings who breathed purpose into the hearts of mortals, even as they watched them falter and fall. And in their divine wisdom, they understood that humanity's greatest strength would always lie in its capacity to overcome adversity. Through the myths of the Anunnaki, we glimpse the very essence of human existence, a delicate balance between the divine and the mortal, between power and fragility, between the desire for knowledge and the inevitable consequences of our actions. The Anunnaki did not simply create humanity as we know it. They created a destiny, a story that would unfold through time, ever shaped by their intervention, ever marked by the cosmic forces that governed both the heavens and the earth. Their legacy endures in the hearts of those who seek to understand the mysteries of creation, in the whispered legends that speak of gods walking among men, and in the timeless question, were we truly made in their image, or did we merely bear the imprint of their divine will? The Anunnaki, gods who came from the heavens, continue to shape our understanding of the past, while their legacy presses forward, ever pushing humanity to question the very nature of its existence. As centuries passed, the mighty Anunnaki, those gods of celestial origin who had once walked among men in the soil of Sumer, began to transcend the borders of their native land, expanding across Mesopotamia like an enduring echo of divine power. The Anunnaki's influence was not confined to the Sumerians alone. They were adopted, revered, and reshaped by the Akkadians, Babylonians, and Assyrians, each culture interpreting their roles through the lens of their own ambitions, fears, and needs. The Akkadians, who rose to power under the leadership of Sargon of Akkad around 2334 BCE, were the first to carry the myth of the Anunnaki beyond the borders of Sumer. As conquerors and empire builders, the Akkadians understood the necessity of integrating the religious and divine elements of the lands they subjugated. To solidify their rule, they needed to merge the gods of the Sumerians with their own pantheon, creating a unified divine narrative that would give them divine legitimacy. It was under the Akkadian Empire that the Anunnaki began to take on a more universal character, no longer confined to the specific deities of one city-state, but instead reimagined as gods who ruled over all of Mesopotamia. They were no longer merely the creators of humanity and the keepers of cosmic order. They became symbols of imperial power, embodying the very essence of divine sovereignty. The Akkadian kings, most notably Sargon, claimed direct descent from the gods, asserting that their rule was divinely sanctioned by the Anunnaki. The gods became not only the protectors of the people, but also the enforcers of imperial power, reflecting the Akkadian rulers' need to secure their reign through the divine. In Babylon, the Anunnaki's mythic significance would reach new heights. The city's rise to prominence under King Hammurabi in the 18th century BCE brought with it the reworking of the Anunnaki into a force of cosmic justice and divine law. Hammurabi's famous code, one of the earliest and most comprehensive legal documents in human history, was believed to have been given to him by the gods themselves. The Anunnaki, under the guise of Marduk, the chief god of Babylon, became the enforcers of justice, the dispensers of law. In this era, the Anunnaki's role as creators transformed into that of divine judges and lawmakers, a symbol of order in the chaos of human affairs. The Anunnaki also took on new dimensions in Assyria, a land that was marked by both brutal conquest and complex religious fervor. The Assyrians, known for their military prowess and their often violent expansionist policies, invoked the Anunnaki not just for protection, but for the strength and authority to conquer their enemies. The Assyrian kings portrayed themselves as the chosen rulers of the Anunnaki, wielding their divine mandate like a weapon to justify their wars and territorial conquests. The gods, who had once nurtured the first humans, now appeared as fierce warriors, bestowing upon the kings the divine right to impose their will on the world. As the centuries unfolded, the Anunnaki continued to shape the lives of kings and commoners alike, their stories evolving with the changing tides of power in the ancient Near East. The kings of Babylon and Assyria began to claim that the Anunnaki, in their divine wisdom, had given them the tools to rule justly and fiercely. The Anunnaki were no longer simply the creators of mankind. They were the architects of empire, providing both the authority and the wisdom that enabled rulers to govern effectively. In royal inscriptions, the Anunnaki were often invoked to lend legitimacy to the king's rule. A powerful king like Hammurabi would often describe himself as the chosen servant of Marduk, receiving the divine mandate to bring justice and stability to the empire. The gods did not just watch over the kings, they empowered them, endowing them with the divine strength to wage war and maintain order in their realms. In this way, the Anunnaki were no longer distant mythic beings. They were part of the fabric of daily life, integrated into the very core of political power and governance. Yet, with power came responsibility. The gods' favor could be fleeting, and the Anunnaki's role as judges and enforcers of divine law meant that a ruler's success or failure was often seen as a reflection of divine will. When kings fell from grace, it was often interpreted as a sign that the Anunnaki had withdrawn their favor, leaving the empire vulnerable to collapse. The fate of the ruler and the empire were deeply intertwined with the will of the gods, a connection that gave the Anunnaki both the power to bless and the power to destroy. The legacy of the Anunnaki was not just a divine one, it was also a political and cultural one. They were the constant presence behind every royal victory, every law, every conquest. They were not abstract deities. They were the living, breathing symbols of divine power and human authority. Through the Anunnaki, kings could trace their divine ancestry, laying claim to a sacred lineage that connected them directly to the heavens. The gods were the king's closest allies, and their approval was necessary for the continuation of royal power. Perhaps the most fascinating evolution of the Anunnaki's role occurred during the rise of Marduk, the god who would come to represent Babylon itself. In earlier Sumerian mythology, Marduk was just one of many gods, but under the Babylonians, he was elevated to supreme status. As the Babylonian Empire rose to prominence, Marduk replaced earlier deities like Enlil and Enki as the head of the pantheon, symbolizing the city's growing power and influence. The elevation of Marduk marked a dramatic shift in the role of the Anunnaki. No longer merely the creators of humanity, the Anunnaki were now united under Marduk's banner as guardians of order and justice. The myth of Marduk's victory over the primordial chaos goddess Tiamat in the Enuma Elish was a defining moment in Babylonian mythology. Through this myth, Marduk's rise to power was seen as the triumph of order over chaos, of civilization over barbarism. The Anunnaki, now aligned with Marduk, embodied the triumph of divine order and cosmic balance under Marduk's reign. The Anunnaki became not only protectors, but enforcers of the cosmic law, maintaining the delicate balance of the universe. They were no longer simply creators or divine overseers. They were the very embodiment of the forces that governed the universe, dispensing justice, law, and order to all who lived under their divine rule. As the Anunnaki transitioned from the Sumerians to the Akkadians, Babylonians, and Assyrians, their roles evolved, but their power remained undeniable. From the creation of humanity to the legitimization of kings, the Anunnaki were deeply intertwined with the fate of the ancient Near East. These gods, once divine craftsmen, became symbols of political power, wisdom, and cosmic order. The Anunnaki were no longer just gods of the past. They were the ever-present forces shaping the present and the future. Their legacy did not die with the fall of empires. It lived on in the myths, the royal decrees, and the inscriptions of kings who continued to claim their divine favor. Through the Anunnaki, the rulers of Mesopotamia were able to secure their authority, their legitimacy, and their place in history, forever linked to the gods who had shaped humanity's first steps. In the end, the Anunnaki's journey through history is a testament to their enduring power. Gods who were at once creators, rulers, and judges, shaping not only the fate of mankind, but the very course of civilization itself. The ancient gods of the Anunnaki, once worshipped in the sacred temples of Sumer, Babylon, and Assyria, have not faded from history's memory. In fact, their influence has taken on new life in the modern world. Over millennia, these celestial beings, once the powerful creators of humanity, have undergone a dramatic transformation. No longer confined to ancient myths, the Anunnaki have entered the realm of modern popular culture, conspiracy theories, and even speculative science. Their legacy persists, not in the dusty ruins of ancient Mesopotamia, but in the imagination of people worldwide. The fascination with the Anunnaki has surged in recent decades, fueled by a potent blend of historical intrigue, mystery, and the search for the unknown. It is as if the gods of ancient times refuse to stay buried in the past, their stories echoing through the ages and beckoning the curious to question their significance in today's world. The very same questions that the Sumerians once asked: who are we? Where did we come from? What is the nature of our relationship to the gods? Are still being asked by modern minds. Only now, the answers are framed within the context of modern science and technology, as well as the allure of extraterrestrial possibilities. Perhaps no modern concept has done more to resurrect the Anunnaki's image than the ancient astronaut theory. First popularized in the 20th century by writers like Erich von Däniken, this theory posits that advanced extraterrestrial beings visited Earth in antiquity, influencing human culture, technology, and even biology. Within this framework, the Anunnaki are often portrayed not as gods in the traditional sense, but as alien visitors who arrived from distant star systems, bringing with them knowledge and technology that far exceeded the capabilities of early human civilizations. For believers in the ancient astronaut theory, the Anunnaki are not just mythological figures. They are the genuine architects of humanity's evolution, both intellectually and physically. In this view, the gods who walked among early humans were extraterrestrial beings who came to Earth with a purpose: to genetically engineer early humans, turning primitive hominids into the advanced, intelligent beings we are today. This theory suggests that the Anunnaki's creation of humanity was not a divine act of love or order, but rather a scientific experiment, a manipulation of genes and DNA to produce a workforce capable of laboring for their alien masters. The idea of the Anunnaki as extraterrestrials resonates with the deep human desire to understand our origins. The ancient texts, such as the Epic of Atrahasis and the Enuma Elish, are interpreted through this lens as allegorical accounts of extraterrestrial interactions with humanity. The Sumerian gods, with their advanced knowledge of agriculture, architecture, and astronomy, are now seen as visitors from the stars, imparting their wisdom to early humans, possibly in exchange for labor or other resources. For those who embrace this theory, the Anunnaki's impact on human civilization cannot be overstated. Their influence is thought to have shaped the very foundations of human culture, from the construction of the great ziggurats and pyramids to the development of early technologies like writing, mathematics, and metallurgy. In this view, the Anunnaki were not only the creators of humanity, they were the teachers of civilization itself, laying the groundwork for all subsequent human achievements. Beyond the realm of ancient astronauts, the Anunnaki have also become central figures in modern conspiracy theories that assert the existence of hidden forces controlling the world's political and economic systems. In these theories, the Anunnaki are portrayed not just as gods, but as powerful, secretive elites who continue to shape human history from the shadows. Their purported influence on modern society is said to be pervasive, stretching from the secret societies of the ancient world to the corridors of power in today's governments, corporations, and financial institutions. Some conspiracy theorists claim that the Anunnaki have never left Earth, but instead have continued to manipulate humanity for millennia, using their advanced knowledge and technology to control global events. According to these theories, the global elite are the modern-day descendants or agents of the Anunnaki, working to keep humanity subjugated under their control. From the construction of ancient megaliths to the rise of powerful global institutions, Everything is seen as part of a grand plan orchestrated by these ancient gods, beings whose true nature is hidden from the masses, but whose influence remains undeniable. The idea that the Anunnaki are still actively involved in shaping the world is a powerful narrative, one that taps into modern fears about power, secrecy, and manipulation. In an age of globalism, economic disparity, and political intrigue, it is easy to see how the figure of the Anunnaki, once gods of creation and wisdom, could be repurposed as symbols of a shadowy elite, controlling the fate of humanity from behind closed doors. The Anunnaki's rise in modern culture is not limited to the fringes of conspiracy or speculative history. These ancient gods have also captured the imaginations of writers, filmmakers, and artists who have incorporated them into a wide range of creative works. In movies, books, video games, and television series, the Anunnaki are often portrayed as ancient aliens, gods of immense power, or mysterious beings with an agenda that may or may not align with humanity's best interests. In science fiction and fantasy, the Anunnaki are often cast as the ultimate ancient beings, older than time itself, with the ability to shape reality and create life. Some stories depict them as the creators of human civilization, while others show them as the antagonists seeking to manipulate or even destroy humanity for their own purposes. The concept of gods with cosmic power, capable of creating life and wielding incredible technological might, makes the Anunnaki a perfect fit for stories that explore the intersection of science, mythology, and human potential. The Star Trek and Stargate franchises, for example, have featured beings that bear striking similarities to the Anunnaki, powerful, ancient races that influence the development of humanity. In films like Prometheus, directed by Ridley Scott, the concept of ancient godlike beings who created humanity from a mix of biological and alien technology is eerily similar to the theories surrounding the Anunnaki. These portrayals speak to a deep-seated fascination with the mystery of human origins, a question that has haunted humanity for millennia. What if the gods of ancient myth were not just stories told by early humans? What if they were real? And what if they were still out there watching over us, perhaps even pulling the strings behind the scenes? In the end, the enduring appeal of the Anunnaki in modern times is not simply rooted in the mystery of their origins or the conspiracy theories that surround them. At a deeper level, the Anunnaki represent something universal: the search for meaning, the quest for knowledge, and the longing to understand our place in the cosmos. The Anunnaki's story is one of creation, of divine beings who shaped humanity in their image. It is a story that speaks to our most profound desires, to know our origins, to understand the forces that shape our destiny, and to seek out the gods who, in some way, made us what we are. Whether viewed through the lens of ancient astronauts or modern conspiracy theories, the Anunnaki tap into a deep well of human curiosity and awe. They are not just gods of the past. They are symbols of our potential, our connection to the cosmos, and our quest for greatness. As we continue to explore the mysteries of the universe, through science, technology, and the timeless power of storytelling, the Anunnaki stand as a testament to humanity's eternal longing to reach beyond the stars and understand the divine forces that govern our existence. Their legacy, whether seen as historical fact or myth, serves as a reminder of the power of imagination, the mystery of the unknown, and the possibility that, perhaps, we are all connected to something far greater than ourselves. The Anunnaki, those ancient gods who first whispered their names on the winds of Mesopotamia, have not only shaped the civilizations of old, but they continue to echo through the corridors of human consciousness, influencing the way we think about our origins, our place in the universe, and our very existence. From the moment the first scribes etched the names of these powerful deities into the clay tablets of Sumer, the Anunnaki became more than just gods. They became symbols of power, creation, mystery, and transformation that transcend time and culture. Today, their legacy reverberates in unexpected places. Their stories have woven their way into the tapestry of philosophical and spiritual exploration. Their myths have inspired art and literature, and their very name has become a symbol of divine intelligence and cosmic order. Even in the midst of our most modern, technologically advanced age, the Anunnaki continue to challenge us to question the nature of reality, to probe the depths of our own history, and to imagine the possibilities of a world that stretches beyond the stars. At the heart of the modern fascination with the Anunnaki lies a profound philosophical question: where do we come from? The myth of the Anunnaki taps directly into humanity's most basic curiosity about its origins. In ancient times, people looked to the gods for answers to questions that were otherwise unanswerable. The gods were the source of life, creation, and wisdom. They were responsible for shaping the first humans, and through them, the entire world. Today, while we may no longer look to divine beings for our answers, we still wrestle with that same fundamental question: how did we come to be? The theory of the Anunnaki as extraterrestrial beings who engineered humanity directly appeals to this quest for understanding. Are we truly the result of divine intervention, or could we be the product of an advanced civilization from another star system? Are our origins the result of an intelligent design, or is humanity merely an accident of evolution? These questions, tied so closely to the myth of the Anunnaki, remind us that we are still deeply connected to our search for meaning, for a higher purpose, and for answers about our place in the vast expanse of the universe. In a way, the Anunnaki's legacy is the legacy of humanity's own quest for identity. We seek to understand our origins, to find out if we are alone in the cosmos, and to uncover the hidden forces that have shaped our development. The Anunnaki's story forces us to confront these questions head-on, daring us to imagine that we are not the only intelligent life in the universe, and that perhaps our creators are out there, waiting to be discovered. As the gods of creation, order, and cosmic balance, the Anunnaki symbolize something far greater than just their earthly role in the myths of the Sumerians and Babylonians. They represent the divine order that governs the universe, the delicate harmony between creation and destruction, light and dark, chaos and order. In many ways, the Anunnaki are representations of the eternal struggle to maintain balance in the universe, to understand the forces that shape both the physical and metaphysical realms. For the ancient Mesopotamians, the Anunnaki were the arbiters of justice, maintaining the moral and cosmic order of the world. They were the ones who judged the fates of both mortals and gods, ensuring that the laws of the universe were upheld. This idea of the Anunnaki as enforcers of justice carries profound implications for how we view the world today. In a world often fraught with corruption, inequality, and moral ambiguity, the symbolism of the Anunnaki's role as divine judges reminds us of the importance of moral order in our own lives. It asks us to reflect on our own actions and their consequences, both on Earth and in the grand scheme of the universe. Their myth also reflects the human need for divine guidance in a world that can sometimes feel chaotic and uncontrollable. The Anunnaki were not just distant, unfeeling deities. They were gods who interacted with humans, who shaped civilizations, who gave humanity the tools to build empires, and who helped to establish a sense of divine law. In a way, they embody the human yearning for something greater, for a cosmic justice that can provide answers to the questions that plague us. Today, the Anunnaki still serve as powerful symbols of that search for higher meaning, reminding us that the universe operates on a set of principles beyond our understanding. The Anunnaki are also archetypes of transformation, beings who exist in the realms between creation and destruction, order and chaos. In the ancient texts, the Anunnaki are not just creators. They are also agents of change, capable of bringing about both the flourishing and the downfall of civilizations. The very act of creation is seen as an act of transformation, a shift from one state of being to another. And like all great deities, the Anunnaki were not immune to the forces of destruction. The Anunnaki's involvement in the birth of humanity and their subsequent retreat from the world mirrors the process of growth and change in our own lives. Creation and destruction are cyclical, forces that continually shape both the world and the human soul. Whether it's the destruction of a civilization, the fall of an empire, or the personal transformation that occurs when we face our own inner chaos, the Anunnaki embody the powerful forces of both creation and destruction that exist within each of us. This archetype of transformation is central to the human experience. We are all engaged in our own personal journeys of growth and change, constantly moving between states of creation and destruction. The Anunnaki's legacy teaches us that in order to create, we must first destroy. In order to rise, we must first fall. They remind us that even the greatest civilizations will eventually be brought down, but from that destruction, new life can emerge. The Anunnaki are not just creators. They are agents of evolution, shaping not only humanity's physical form, but also its spiritual journey. The power of the Anunnaki is not confined to the ancient texts of Sumerian, Babylonian, or Assyrian civilizations. Over the centuries, the myth of these ancient gods has continued to inspire a wide range of artistic and literary works. Writers, poets, and artists have reimagined the Anunnaki in countless forms, using them as symbols of humanity's relationship with the divine, the extraterrestrial, and the unknown. In literature, the Anunnaki have made appearances in works of science fiction, fantasy, and speculative fiction. Writers have used the myth of the Anunnaki to explore the nature of alien intelligence, the possibilities of human evolution, and the idea that advanced civilizations may have once shaped humanity's destiny. Their role as ancient extraterrestrial beings who may have influenced the course of human history resonates deeply in a world still grappling with the possibility of life beyond our planet. The Anunnaki are seen as mysterious, powerful figures whose actions shape the fate of humanity. In art, the Anunnaki are often depicted as towering, godlike beings, reminiscent of the gods of Greek and Roman mythology, yet uniquely tied to the ancient Near East. Their depictions reflect not only their physical grandeur but also their spiritual and cosmic significance. These works serve as a reminder that the gods who once walked among men are still a powerful force in the collective imagination, an enduring symbol of humanity's quest for higher knowledge and understanding. And in popular culture, the Anunnaki have made their way into movies, television shows, and even video games, often appearing as ancient alien gods who are either benevolent guides or ominous overseers of humanity's fate. Their stories continue to captivate, offering a blend of ancient myth and modern speculation that touches on our deepest fears and hopes. The Anunnaki are not merely ancient deities lost to the sands of time. They are eternal symbols of humanity's search for meaning, truth, and connection to something greater. Whether viewed as gods, aliens, or archetypes of transformation, the Anunnaki compel us to ask profound questions about who we are, where we came from, and where we are going. Their legacy is a call to look beyond the mundane, to reach for the stars, and to embrace the mysteries of the universe. The Anunnaki story is not just one of ancient history. It is a living narrative, woven into the fabric of human consciousness, challenging us to explore the depths of our existence and to confront the mysteries that still lie beyond our reach. In their myths, in their symbolism, and in the stories we continue to tell, the Anunnaki remain an enduring reminder that we are all part of a much larger cosmic story, one that has yet to unfold in its entirety. In the modern world, where ancient myths and extraterrestrial theories intersect, the Anunnaki have transcended their Sumerian origins to become a symbol of humanity's deepest questions about identity, origins, and destiny. Far from being forgotten relics of a bygone era, these powerful deities have emerged once again, capturing the imaginations of countless people around the world. The myths surrounding them have been revived, reinterpreted, and woven into the fabric of modern spirituality, alternative history, and even conspiracy theories. The Anunnaki are no longer just the gods of an ancient civilization. they are archetypes for something much larger. They are symbols of humanity's desire to uncover the secrets of the cosmos, to understand our origins, and to explore the boundaries between myth and reality. This reawakening of interest in the Anunnaki is not just a reflection of a growing fascination with ancient history, but a search for meaning in a world that feels increasingly uncertain, where truths are hard to find, and where the veil between the known and the unknown seems thinner than ever. As humanity has advanced technologically, so too has our desire to explore the stars and unlock the secrets of the universe. We've sent rovers to Mars, launched probes beyond our solar system, and developed powerful telescopes that peer deep into the cosmos, bringing us closer to the stars than ever before. Yet, with all this progress, the most profound question still remains. Are we alone? In this context, the Anunnaki have found new relevance. The idea that an advanced extraterrestrial civilization could have visited Earth in the distant past and influenced human development resonates strongly with modern scientific curiosity. Could there be other life forms in the universe that have shaped our evolution? Could the ancient gods of Mesopotamian myth be the remnants of an advanced civilization that left its mark on the world? In recent years, theories about the Anunnaki have flourished in books, documentaries, and online communities, where passionate voices argue that these deities were, in fact, extraterrestrial visitors who played a role in the genetic manipulation of early humans. According to some interpretations, the Anunnaki arrived on Earth thousands of years ago, bringing knowledge, technology, and wisdom that enabled humanity to build great civilizations and achieve feats that would otherwise seem impossible. This idea, though controversial, captures the imagination of many who seek to reconcile ancient myth with modern scientific discoveries, propelling the Anunnaki back into the public consciousness as powerful symbols of humanity's yearning for greater understanding. The notion that ancient aliens, perhaps the Anunnaki themselves, may have played a hand in shaping human history challenges our assumptions about human potential and divine intervention. It calls into question the very nature of our evolution, suggesting that we may not be the sole authors of our own destiny, but instead the inheritors of a much larger, more mysterious narrative. In the last few decades, the Anunnaki have also become central figures in New Age spirituality. For those who seek a connection to the cosmos and to a higher consciousness, the Anunnaki represent more than just ancient gods. They are symbols of divine wisdom, hidden knowledge, and cosmic evolution. In this context, they are believed to hold the keys to unlocking human potential, to expanding our consciousness, and to guiding us toward a future in which we transcend the limitations of our physical bodies and explore the mysteries of the universe. Many New Age thinkers and spiritual leaders interpret the Anunnaki's role in human history as a divine intervention that was meant to elevate humanity to a higher state of being. According to these beliefs, the Anunnaki did not just create humans. They empowered us, giving us the tools and knowledge to become more than mere mortals. Their legacy is seen as a gift, one that has been passed down through the ages, hidden beneath the surface of our ancient myths and spiritual traditions. The Anunnaki's role in New Age thinking is often tied to the idea of awakening, a process of spiritual evolution that will lead humanity toward enlightenment, unity, and the discovery of our true potential. Those who follow these teachings believe that by reconnecting with the wisdom of the Anunnaki, we can unlock the secrets of the universe and achieve a higher state of consciousness. For many, the Anunnaki are not just ancient gods, but guides and mentors, offering us a roadmap for how to navigate the complexities of modern life and the challenges of an ever-changing world. This spiritual awakening is seen as part of a larger movement toward global unity and cosmic enlightenment, where humanity will eventually come to understand its true purpose and its place in the universe. The Anunnaki, in this context, are seen as part of the cosmic family, beings who once walked among us and who continue to influence our spiritual evolution from afar. Perhaps the most controversial and fascinating aspect of the Anunnaki's resurgence in modern times is their prominent role in conspiracy theories and alternative history. The idea that an advanced alien race once visited Earth and influenced the course of human history is a theory that has captivated the imaginations of those who question mainstream historical narratives. Books, documentaries, and online communities abound with theories about the Anunnaki's involvement in everything from the construction of the pyramids to the genetic engineering of early humans. For many conspiracy theorists, the Anunnaki represent a hidden truth about our origins, one that has been deliberately suppressed by governments, elites, and mainstream historians. They argue that ancient civilizations, particularly in Mesopotamia, were the recipients of knowledge and technology from an alien race, and that this knowledge was deliberately obscured by those in power in order to maintain control over humanity. In this view, the Anunnaki are not just ancient gods, they are the key to unlocking the true history of the world. The allure of these theories lies in their mystery, speculation, and promise of revelation. They offer an alternative to the conventional understanding of human history, one that invites believers to question everything they thought they knew about their origins, their purpose, and the world around them. For those who feel that mainstream narratives are incomplete or misleading, the Anunnaki provide a tantalizing glimpse into a hidden truth that promises to change everything. In the realm of popular culture, the Anunnaki have become a central theme in science fiction, fantasy, and speculative fiction. Movies, television shows, and video games have taken inspiration from the ancient myths, reimagining the Anunnaki as alien gods, ancient astronauts, or even immortal beings who continue to shape the course of human history. Their role as creators, manipulators, and cosmic overseers has been woven into narratives that explore humanity's relationship with the divine, the extraterrestrial, and the unknown. From blockbuster movies to TV series, the Anunnaki have appeared as enigmatic figures, often portrayed as mysterious, all-powerful beings whose motives are inscrutable, whose knowledge is ancient, and whose influence is far-reaching. Their stories serve as metaphors for the larger questions of human identity, fate, and destiny, while offering a thrilling exploration of what it means to encounter the divine and the alien. The Anunnaki have become part of the mythological landscape of modern popular culture, alongside other figures from ancient traditions. Their presence in movies like Stargate and Prometheus, in books by authors like Zecharia Sitchin, and in video games like Assassin's Creed is a testament to their enduring power as symbols of mystery, awe, and transformation. They are no longer just relics of an ancient world. They are active, living figures in the cultural imagination. The modern fascination with the Anunnaki is more than just an intellectual curiosity. It is a quest for deeper understanding, a search for the truth about who we are, where we come from, and what our future holds. The Anunnaki are not just ancient gods. They are living symbols of humanity's eternal yearning for knowledge, discovery, and connection with the divine. Whether we view them as extraterrestrial visitors, divine creators, or archetypes of transformation, the Anunnaki continue to inspire us to reach for the stars, to explore the mysteries of the universe, and to uncover the secrets that lie hidden in the shadows of time. As we stand on the threshold of a new age, an age of space exploration, technological innovation, and spiritual awakening, the story of the Anunnaki remains more relevant than ever. Their legacy is not a relic of the past, but a living and dynamic force that continues to shape the future of humanity. And as we continue our journey into the unknown, we may yet uncover the ultimate truth about the Anunnaki. That they are not just our creators. They are our guides in the search for meaning, our mentors in the pursuit of knowledge, and our companions on the path to understanding the cosmic forces that shape our destiny.